Alright, just as how is it, buddy? Alright, we can do a little bit of build here in the workshop, test out some of the new stuff that came out the other day on the update. Just still setting up the stream. Get ready in a moment. Probably won't play for too long. Alright, so new parts here. Let's go ahead and take a look at them real fast. Bring the music down just a touch. Alright, so some of the new parts they added are pretty cool. So, they added these pivots. So you have this compact power pivot, small pivot that can rotate freely about the axis, and it has a torque RPS connection going through it. This is something I'd been asking for a while. I asked for it in a Q&A a couple times, and they seemed open to it, and then they added it. So we've got a also this type of pivot. So one of the things that I wanted this for was azipods. So did a little azipod test rig here. Gonna show you that here. Let's go show the test rig out. And then this will allow you to make 360-degree azipod drive units. So. Alright, so before you couldn't really power it unless you put the electric motor on it. Now, if you look here, you can put the power up and through. You can use one of those new pivots and turn it with something else. So you could power it with, say, a diesel motor. So let's say that's simulating a diesel motor. And then you can move the azipod 360 degrees. And so this is how azipods work IRL. And it allows you to move at 360 degrees, which is really cool now. And as you can see, whatever's driving it can stay stationary. So that was a good addition. So let's put together a quick hull. So I might try to get back into playing a little bit of the build series that I started a little while ago. I've been really busy, and now I've got a little bit more time, but not a ton still. Hello, Mr. Beep. How are you? I think this will be a good addition to the game. There's a lot that can be done with this. Alright, trying to get a second job? Yep. Alright, so hull's shaping up here. Let's see if when I want to set this up. I think we'll start here first. Stop. Probably have to cut here, maybe. I'll see. Yeah, probably an earlier cut. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. I haven't been playing much, so I don't know what has been missed since I have not been playing. But, yeah, I haven't been playing much, so no clue. The only thing that really added was this new set of parts that I've been wanting, so they got some parts that got me interested back in it, and I've got a little time now. I've been busy, so haven't really been able to get back and check things out. Guess that will do it. Hello, Final PSX. I don't know. You got to look at as far as the comment with the decline. You got to look at a number of factors anyway. You got to look at post-COVID numbers. You got to look at gaming in general. Numbers are certainly down, but I think the most important things to look at is, it was artificially high during COVID. They had during the DLCs, it was even, every DLC it was higher and higher. So you have to factor those sorts of things in as well. A lot of people don't do that. They don't factor in, what they don't factor in general gaming trends and everything else, and then they try to draw a conclusion, and you can't really draw a conclusion without doing those other things. So So I think it's kind of difficult to really draw any conclusions, but frankly, I don't really care as far as I'd rather have kind of the target demographic hanging around than just like, more, workshop only type of group anyway, just because it's sometimes you don't get the you'll get the transient players, you don't get the hardcore players, you get the players who come try a new game and then they leave. So be hard to make arguments. You'd have to get a lot of data to actually see what's going on. So like drawing any real conclusions is kind of difficult. So it's also the game's been out for however many years. What, 7 years? Somebody bumped a post the other day that was 7 years old. So it's like, I think it's pretty good for the game to have been producing as much as it has in 7 years. So I don't think there's really much in the way of conclusions you can draw from current numbers. The biggest draws to stormworks, as far as, like looking at Steam D, have always been the DLCs, and they decided they didn't want to do DLCs, which I think was a mistake. I think they need to keep coming out with DLCs. The best thing to keep continued revenue coming in is more DLCs. So these are one of the new parts, these pivots. No, I don't care about sailing, so I really have no interest in sailing. Hello, Sergeant. How are you? Yeah, that's what got me kind of interested again, was looking at some of these PTO parts and the ability to move RPS through. That's good there. Okay, good. Yeah, I think the most important thing is, a game continues to have the fundamental crowd that it's kind of designed for, and it's for a long time it's been kind of a crowd that, there's been a lot of people who'd like have no interest in engineering, which is kind of the whole point of the game, and so that kind of makes it it's kind of the point of the game is engineering. So you had a lot of people playing this game who weren't even interested in engineering. So it's kind of like I'd rather, like, you're gonna get a lot of those workshop people who play for a couple days, then they leave. They'll cut out if there's not enough like transient which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing either. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so I'll go right there. Go. Good. Get that going there. Did that not come in? Okay. Oh, because it's not merged. I didn't have symmetry on. Got me. Alright, good. So now we should be able to do azopods here. So we can do 360 azopods, which is awesome. And we should be able to give this a little bit of a test run real quick. That's fine to do it not like that. Alright. WS is going to be up, down, going to be sticky. Property number. That's what it is. Property number. Alright, good. Ah. Rusty, so I don't know where anything is anymore. There we go. Yeah, it's funny, like, there was just a post I read a minute, before I got on that was like, somebody like, putting in a bunch of stuff nobody even wants. It's like, people have been asking for it, dickhead. Just because you don't want it doesn't mean that other people don't want it, you know? How's it going there, David? How are you? Not too much, I'm just playing with some new parts. Now, what did I screw up here? What did I screw up? Skip. Screwed something up. Alright. I screwed something up. God damn it. Alright. Seats going in there. Those are merged. Oh, I didn't put in a formula, that's why. That would do it. Rusty. Rusty. That would do it. Yeah, so before you couldn't go 360-degree azipods, now you can, and this is the benefit. They're probably not... Okay, I gotta fix... Let's see. Why are they going the same fuck... Oh, I didn't change that. Okay. Let's see, this one... I'm gonna go left. Alright, they're both backwards. Alright. They are both backwards. Ah, shit, that sucks. Blue and green. All right. Do that. And this one will be 3. Go. I'm gonna make sure these move before I get going. I gotta move just so I can see. There we go. So this we used to not be able to do. And so this is what's cool with the azipods is I can power these up. And now the ship's not moving and the propellers just keep going. So let's say I want to go backwards. I can almost instantly go backwards. Then I want to go forwards. That's why a lot of tugboats use azipods now. Okay, then I want to go to the right. I want to go to the right, do a real tight turn. All right, I want to stop. I want to go backwards. That's why this is an update I've been wanting for a long time. Is this sort of shit's really cool, so you get a really maneuverable boat. Okay, I want to go forwards. I want to go forward slow. Now, I have not changed the propeller speed at all, but we're going forward slow. Let's go forwards fast. So I have not changed the propeller speed at all, but I'm able to change the speed of the boat by moving the azipods. Let's stop. All right, let's go backwards. Let's go backwards really fast. Let's stop. And then you can do some cool stuff. I got to try to remember how to do this. Let's see. Let's say I want to go sideways. I got to make one of them go backwards. So, all right. I got to conceptualize this right. There we go. Now this is how you go sideways. And I can turn while I'm going sideways, but I can also increase the sideways. I'm trying to... I gotta fix it, figure it out again. Try to remember how to go sideways with the azipods. See if I can get an azipod diagram. I had one, then I couldn't find it. Here we go. I'm just looking for a new azipod diagram. Like, shows you where you have to point your azipods to, like, go sideways, to do stuff like that. Let's play with it for a while. Then you need to stop really quickly. Oh, we're going to hit something. Go right into reverse. I haven't changed the propeller speed at all. Alright, so let's see. I'm starting to get the hang of going sideways. I got to keep playing with it, though. I'm trying to get the left one set first. So let's see, this is pushing us that way, and then I need this one to push us. Try to remember, I used to know how to do this, I'm trying to figure it back out, so. There we go. I'm starting to get there. It's like 45, 45, and I can start getting it there. We're going to go about 45 degrees and then also modulate this one. There we go. Still going forwards. But eventually I'll be able to get this, I gotta figure out the orientation, but you can get it going sideways. So you actually strafe the ship sideways, and then again, you can make it, you can stop on a dime, like, now we're just stopped, and you don't have to change the propeller speed. So the benefit of that is you don't have to go into forward and reverse. Because you figure if the engine is turning one direction, and then you try, and the propeller has a lot of mass, it's moving a lot of mass of water. People talk about it, you know, they stall their boat motor when they go in reverse because the propeller has a lot of resistance going one direction. Then they try to turn it the other direction really quickly, and it stalls the engine. So when you have azipods like this, you can go forward and backwards almost instantly because the propeller stays moving. So like right now we're stopped. Backwards, backwards fast, backwards really slow. And then we want to stop, and then completely stop like that. So it's really nice and intuitive. And then if you want to, say, turn around real quick, there we go, turn around real quick, and then stop, go backwards. You know, so you imagine how quickly you can move a barge around if you can easily, very quickly get around it. And your engine's going to always stay up. Now, we're traveling along, and all you do is you steer with one. And I'll have to eventually find how to get back to going sideways. I know you gotta have one of them at 45 degrees, and the other one's backwards, essentially 45, because it's all you're doing is trying to cancel out the turn. So, like that increases the turn, that cancels out the turn. And then, so see, like we're strafing diagonally now, so eventually I'll get it figured out. But I used to know how to do it, now I forget. So. But very cool, so that's some things you can do with the new update because of those new pivot pieces that we used to not be able to do. Now, I'm using electricity. Yeah, I'll show you in a second, David. I'm using electricity for the test, but, you know, you'll be able to do it with diesel. So if you, here, why didn't I just bring in the workbench? Yeah, so essentially what I got here is I've got these floating velocity pivots above it. Those are connected to the azipods, and then I have the new pivots connected, and they'll be attached to a power unit here. So let's just make a real quick engine. Let's get this thing ballasted too. I have another video for the, I was doing a boat stability tutorial series. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to be very busy again very soon, so. Okay, it's too much in the bow. Ah, shit. What's up to now? Good, that's sitting pretty well. Still a little bit too much mass in the bow, but that's pretty good. All right, good. Do I have that? I do. Okay. Anti-fouling paint. Alright, should be able to paint the bucket those and not have it cause problems. Yep, that should be fine. See, any paint anything I didn't want? No, it did a good, an alright job that time. Alright. This one might have problems, we'll see. Nah, it did alright. Okay. Did they add the ability to do electrical stuff through or do composites through pulleys? I can't remember if they did that or not. That was something I had not checked. I was busy when they did that. Alright, let's catch my chat. Yeah, I think PTO is great. It's something I've been wanting. I think I said hello to Zelfla on Mars. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool systems you can do. Why would I put them in the center? They don't go in the center. They go where they belong in the stern. Yeah, as you can see, that's where they belong. Belong in the stern. They don't belong in the middle. Some engines in here. I meant to check the float on that. Bow's heavy now because of all the extra decking. That's fine. Alright, pull a little more mass out of here. Yeah, it's fine. Actually, keep that like that. It's fine. Cut a little here. Alright, we're up to 72.3. That's pretty good there. It's floating right. Yep, okay, go. Cable pulleys, yeah. Yeah, that's neat. build. Where are you? Do a measure. That is 54, so 26. 26 is there. What are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 off that. Okay. That's midpoint there. Alright. Need some more aft ballast. That's good. Alright, full fuel complement. We're floating pretty good. Right about where I want it for full fuel. And we'll cut ballast as we need to. Oh yeah. Shit. It's fine. We can do this. Ah, shit. Of course I didn't have symmetry on when I did that. Property number. Where the hell is property number? Where is it? What the fuck happened there? I'll get the other way. What? Alright, let's see what we're doing here. Just look up any Azapod tug. Not using a reference picture. It's an Azapod tug, though. How to cut the HSV light out. Which one's the HSV light? Use component. Are you talking about the RGB lights? I have a tutorial on it. Just look on my channel for tutorial. I don't know what the HSV is. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see. That's saved. Okay, what are we doing? Let's see. Modular engine tutorial. Let's see. One of them was a boat. That was part 4. That's a wheel. Where the hell is the... doesn't really matter. Find some engine I have somewhere that's running to just move that over. Let's do it. Oh, stop. That's what sucks when I'm over here in the space. Alright. Get out of the space. I gotta edit this up a little bit, but that's not gonna be the one I want to use. Alright, that is part 4. What's that? Steam tutorial. Crane Pump and refinery, mod boat tutorial. I'll run this one, that'll be easiest. That will be the easiest, alright. Clutch. I gotta get rid of reverse. Battery's fine for now. Alternator's fine. That's fine. Coolant pump's fine. Starter. Radiator fan I don't need. Reverse I don't need. Okay, good. Alright, let's edit this to be what I need. So the composite 2 is WS, that's fine, that's all good, that's all good, that's all good. Reverse, I don't need a reverse. So I need to fix this to be 0. Alright, that'll do that fine. That will be 0. What else was I gonna do? Oh, I need to change this to what is it, 4? 4. Alright, and then let me double check how I had that set up. Should be pushes, yeah, okay. Shit, I forgot what start was. 6, usually 6. Alright, good. That's good. Alright, so it's 6, that's running off of that. We got infinite electricity on. We gotta make sure we get fuel. Let's check, make sure we get some diesel in there. Level. Plenty of diesel. Okay. Alright, we got exhaust, we got fuel, we got air. Make sure we have air. That should be in, that's good. What am I running that at? Those should leak anyways. 0.0185 for the blower, that's fine. Now let's see. Sometimes windy filters. I'm just going to put fluid ports on there for now. Make sure it's not that, and then we'll check it again. Could be the idle too. Okay, let's see. We're merged up there. That's good. Alright, I've got the composites done there. Oh, I didn't do manifolds, that's why, so it's not passing it. That's would be why. Alright, good. That would do it. Oh, pass the info now. Alright, good. Because it wasn't getting the composite signal, because the cylinder wasn't connected. Alright. There we go. Alright, good. Very nice. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, good. I'll read chat in a second. Same as RV. Okay, yeah. Yeah, let me see. I forget exactly what it's called. Let me look it up, see if I can find it. I don't know which one's which here. Yeah, just search for RGB. Pops up, but I'll put up 2 in the chat. Alright, there. Alright, that's plopped in there. Where are we at? Oh, I didn't put it in yet. Okay, let's put it in. Where's the cursor? There it is. Alright, so now if you wanted to stop the boat, instead of throttling down the engines, which you could do, you go ahead and just push the azipods off. And then you can go right into reverse without ever changing the direction of the engines. Then you want to go back to stop. You just go 90s. You want to turn, you just can try to get a turn going here a little bit better. So if I wanted to turn, that's a turn there. So this is why tugboats use these, is it makes it really efficient for them to go. Then you want to go backwards, there you go, you're backwards now. Then you can go sideways. I gotta keep playing with it to get it to go sideways. It takes me some practice. Okay, that's what it is. It is like this to go sideways. It's like a 45, and then you modulate with this one, I believe. Yeah, you modulate with this one. Takes some modulation to get it going, but I'm trying to see. One of them you have to have an opposition, so it'd be like push-pull like this. Not that. Yeah, see, that's sideways right there. So sideways is a little bit different game. You see, it's kind of like pulling us, pushing us forward, because this one's trying to turn us so that you can go sideways. And then you want to quickly change direction. And then we're going to go like this, and bang that. I need indications of where they're going here. Let me see. Once I get the indications of where they are, I can orient it without having to look in third person. And you want to stop. Go backwards. Turn around. That's why the tugboats use this, is it's just these azipods. As you can see, you can really be maneuverable. And you never have to throttle down your engines like that, so. And then if we want to throttle down our engines, we can to save fuel, so. Alright, good. So let's do a speed test, and I want to get that geared in. Linear right here. Alright, so we're going about 14 knots, which is fast for a tugboat. So I'll gear him down a little bit. I might keep him about there, though. Let's see. 13 RPS is pretty high, though. So let's go ahead and do this. Where the hell is it? There it is. All right. Let's go. Let's go 3-2. 3-2. So it'd be let me see. Calc. 2 divided by 3.66 times what we're running, 13 RPS, so that's 8.6 RPS on the propeller now instead of 13 RPS on the propeller. All right. We should get a slower speed here, but we'll be stronger. So like, say I was gonna push a big heavy barge or pull a big heavy barge in game. You know, everybody and their brother wants to just keep speeding up the propellers, but they're making them weaker, and so you want a tugboat to be strong. So by gearing them down, they don't get they can overcome the resistance and then maintain speed. So like, if you had a barge, if you had this boat and it was way geared up, it might go 30 knots without a barge, and then you push a barge and it goes 1 knot. Or you may gear it correctly and it goes 10 knots, and then you push a barge and it goes 8 knots. So it's 8 times faster, you know, pushing the barge. All right, now this has no stability system. It's pretty good. All right, what are we running here? 4.65 times 1.94. 4.65 times 1.94. That's 9 knots. I'm happy with that. And then normally when you're just steering, you steer with one azipod. So that's easy to tie into the autopilot because you just you know, pick the left one, have the left one steer. You see, I can kind of, that's sideways right there. So it's nice because you can push a barge sideways like this. You can push a barge up against the dock. And then up, you don't want to push it up against the dock as much anymore. You head out of there. So we'll grab a barge here and I'll kind of manipulate the barge a little bit. See what I have for barges. I haven't built a barge in a while. Rocket fuel production. Career build new barge. This one have liquid in it? It can. Okay, good. It can have liquid in it. What's this? Full diesel. Let's see. Alright, so that's full of diesel. That should be pretty damn heavy. Let's see. Yep, that's full of diesel. I thought I had a gauge on here, maybe not. I could swim in there and see how many liters of diesel this is. What is it, 149,000? 149,000 liters of diesel in there. That should do it. Okay, I don't know why this isn't going. Hello, Ella Peyton, how are you? Alright, so what I'm going to try to do here is get between... Oh, shit, going the wrong way. Try to get between the dock and the barge, and then I'm going to do the thing where I push it sideways, so... If I can remember the orientation. Should be 45... let's see, should be 45 back with the left one. Oh, shit, I'm already fucking this up. Oh, I know what it is. I know why I couldn't get the engine started again. I never made the space bar, never took it off toggle. So now I can control my speed with where I point the azipods. So you see we're like going slow ahead. You can kind of steer us in, speed us up. So the engine stays spooled up the whole time. And then now this, I'm trying to get it set up for a side push here. Stand by, I gotta... The engine's spooled up so high that if I move the azipods too fast, it gets moving really fast. Now let's get this stopped again so I can figure this out. Okay, so now we're kind of in a stationary stop position. God damn it, I gotta figure out this sideways here. Alright, I gotta take a second and just figure it out. Alright, so sideways should be like 45 this way. And then that one is gonna be interior push, maybe. I gotta look. Gotta get away from the dock so I can fucking see. Alright. I'll practice the sideways out in the open and then where I can see the azipods. Alright, so let's get it stopped. Now let's get this one forward, and then this one should start coming around until I can figure it out. There we go. Alright, so that's sideways like that. So this one's pretty much almost forwards, and then this one is modulating backwards, going like that, and we go sideways. So the problem is it takes me a second to get this stopped again when we go too fast, so... Alright, so now we can go forward. I'll steer around the barge. Alright, and then we're bringing the left one around for the sideways. There it is. Okay. Now we're going sideways, so... Try to get that going. There we go. Now we're going sideways. And this one needs to come more forwards. Let me practice some sideways here before I get back behind it. So that's sideways there. There we go. Now I got it set up for sideways. There we go. And then I can just steer with this outside and we kind of push it sideways. There we go. So you can see, push the barge sideways now with the azipods. Alright, now I want to get it off that dock there, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start going back to... I'm going to spin us all the way around. And then I'm going to put us in reverse. There we go. I'm going to go stop. There we go. Yep, going the wrong way on that one. That doesn't help. There we go. Complicated, but once you figure it out, it's pretty intuitive. It just takes a second. Here we go. We get the barge going. Alright, so now I want to straighten my nose up around the barge. So there we go. Straighten the nose up around the barge. Oh, can't see what the fucking way this is. Alright, there we go. I wish those dials were working for me because I could see where the azopods are. I have to kind of guess, and it's tough. So, alright, you go like this, and then this one should be going the other way. Alright, good. I got it figured out now. Get it off the dock so I can actually see my fucking azopods. Alright, so I'm going to get it off the dock a little bit. I'm going to get back behind it. Okay. I just need to see the azopods enough I know what I'm doing. Alright, let's go ahead and spin it around. Alright, and then I'm getting ready to stop it here in a second. Alright, stopped. Alright. That will turn me. So I just need the one azopod to turn me. Alright, we'll go backwards. Once you get a hang of this, I can go sideways and everything else, and it really makes it easier. There we go, lined up again. See if I can't see off this fucking dock. Can't see which way this goes. Okay, left is this way, okay. Go back up again. Need to keep an eye on the azopods. Once I get gauges that I can see where the azopod positions are, I don't have to keep going third person, and then I lose it in third person, so that's the problem. Alright, bring in the going sideways. We're going to strafe right in front of it there. Alright, good. And I can just control the speed with the azopod positioning here. Theoretically, if I can remember where the positions of the azopods presently are. Catch back up with it. There we go. Alright. Go backwards for a second. There we go. There we go. Steer this sucker out of here. I got the prop spinning too fast too. I gotta gear him down some more. Alright, see if I can't fix the gauges. They actually work for me. I think this one here on the right needs to be inverted. Alright, let's try that. Because if I can tell the position of the azopods, I can do it from sitting in here. And then I want to down gear them some more. So they're more powerful but less speedy. Let's do that. Okay, that way I got a little more time to dick around with them. Alright, let's catch up with some chat here. How's it going there, Zerf? And I'm working on a Azapod tug using the new 360 power pivots. Before you couldn't use diesel to go through because you couldn't turn the pipe 360 degrees. Now you can, so. Alright, so we should be slower now but stronger, which is what I want. So we're cutting down the top speed, but we're increasing the speed it should push with the barge, so. Let me see. Alright, so that one's responding the correct direction to the, so I can kind of tell if it's inside or outside. I gotta change this multiplication factor, I think by 4 or something. I think it's times 4, so the dial reads exactly where it's pointed. I kind of see with the dials, at least which way it's going. You can see me steering now with that. And then this one's just staying straight for the moment. There we go. Okay, here we go, trying to get them both. Let's get them in position, so now we're pushing faster. There we go. Excellent. Alright, good. So we're doing about 4 knots on the push. Alright, now let's go backwards. Alright, good. Both gauges are working the way I want them to. I gotta do like times 4 though, so we'll bring this back. I think it's times 4. I click input, I'm at output. No, it's output, I put output, okay. I think it's times 4, but I'm not sure. So. Alright, let's move this one 90 degrees. So that's 90 there. So there, let's get it 90. There's about 90. Let's see what it says on the gauge. There's 90 right there. So, yep, it's about 90. A little short. Let's go all the way backwards like that. Okay, so that's off. Yep. Alright, let's see. Do a direct connect and I'll just figure it out real quick. And then I'll multiply it out so that it reads the degrees it is. Okay, let's go. So that's about 90 right there. Let's see what it reads. 0.25, so that's a quarter. Let's see. 5, okay. Alright, so let's see. Calc. 90 divided by 0.25 is 360. Yep, 360 multiplication. Alright. Okay. Ah, it's because that's not 360. Okay. You know what I might do? I think it's probably negative 180. I can't remember which one, so we'll do this. Okay. Alright, this one I want 90 to the left. See where 90 is. That looked like 90. That looks 90. It's not going to be right on the gauge, so I'm going to keep sticking with it. Yep, so that's all the way around the other side. That's 90 that way. Yeah, I gotta stick around with these to get them right. Yeah, I gotta fuck with these. Anyways, that's what I want those gauges to show. But, alright, well, I think we'll finish up there. It was a good start on this, at least. But yeah, that's some good new parts. I want to look through the parts. I haven't seen playing much at all, so let's look at some of the parts. Let's save this up real fast. Alright. Let's look at some of these new parts that they put in. So we have the new pivots. So we have these, which are the, they just like free casters, compact power pivots. Let me see. I can't put anything in there right now. Yeah, so they just freely rotate, but you can put RPS through there. So a bunch of us have been asking for that, so that's really cool. Then you have these also that you can put RPS through, which is really cool. We've been asking for that for the ability to do PTOs and stuff, so that's awesome. And then we get the new seats. Here's the new saddle seat, saddle passenger seat, so those are cool. Somebody was complaining that it doesn't have a collision. Yeah, dude, you can't have a collision because your legs need to go through it. Let's see, some new firefighting shit, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care about that. And then they did AI enemies, which I don't really care about that either. But maybe it was the firefighting breathing apparatus. Yeah, the SCBA. Yep. That's pretty cool stuff. Glad they added some new stuff to it, some stuff that I actually wanted. Like, I wasn't going to come back. I've been a bit too busy to play anyways, but I wasn't going to come back until there was some stuff that was interesting like these. A lot of good possibilities with these, with like doing a bunch of PTOs and doing this sort of Azpod stuff. But thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. If you new and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.